Hi, I'm Shane Smith. Welcome to this week's case review. I'm here talking with Ashley from Shanesmithlaw about one of her recently settled cases. She just recently settled a case with DS where she was able to get a great settlement for her. Ashley, tell me a little bit about the case we're talking about here today. How did the car accident happen? What went on, that sort of thing?
Yes, this was a pretty bad wreck. Back in April, our client was driving, coming up to an intersection. The crossroads of that intersection had a stop sign. However, another driver didn't see it, flew through the stop sign right out through the intersection, trying to make a left in front of our client and caused a pretty severe collision. And to kind of give you an idea of how bad we're talking property damage upwards of $20,000 on each car.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's a really bad impact. As a result, our client went to the emergency room presenting with pain in the forearm, and x-rays revealed multiple fractures, one of which was pretty bad. It was the mid shaft. So you have two bones there. You have your radius and your ulnar.
Right.
The radius bone had broken and displaced, which means the bone wasn't even lined up correctly. That requires pretty immediate surgery to make sure it heals correctly. So they took our client in, put some hardware in, a couple of rods, a couple of screws to make sure it will line up correctly and heal correctly. And on top of that, there was an additional fracture down towards the wrist of the ulnar bone. So both bones in that forearm broken. Obviously, with that kind of surgery, you go through some pretty intense physical therapy afterwards as well to make sure it heals up right. Along with that, our client also had complaints of neck pain and back pain, along with hip pain. So physical therapy for those as well. Treat everything at once, all at the same appointment. A couple of months of pretty serious treatment, but we got our client feeling back to the best that they could given the severity of that injury.
Yeah. How did her wrist heal? Was she get full use of that arm back, or is it still, other than like arthritis and things like that, or is it?
Yeah, arthritis is common with injuries that bad. The client was very diligent in going to physical therapy. That's really the big make or break in what kind of mobility you get back is how thorough you are with your treatment. Unfortunately, the hardware put in place is permanent. So that's there, for the rest of the client's life.
How were you able to get it settled pretty quickly? Did the insurance company fight a lot? Did they try to undervalue the damage that happened to DS? Tell me a little bit about that.
No, the insurance company was actually very agreeable, which was, that's always nice, especially when you're dealing with such severe injuries, for them to recognize that this was a bad accident. The person injured is already going through a lot because of the trauma they've experienced and now what they have to go through just to get back to what their new normal is going to be. So the insurance company right off the bat was pretty good about property damage. And then even with the settlement, we started the process pretty early. The policy year was a $50,000 policy and her hospital bills were rather high. So instead of making the client wait while she treated, we went ahead and let the insurance company know, hey, listen, this is going to be your policy. There really is no fight to be had here, given the extent of the medical bills. Emergency surgery is no joke and it's not cheap.
Right.
And the insurance company, to be completely honest, we didn't even respond. They sent a check. I had no answer from the insurance company. I found out through the mail when they had tendered their policy.
Okay. All right. So it sounds like you were able to get all the insurance money that was available.
Yep. We got everything without a fight, which was great.
And then were you able to get those bills resolved and reduced and hammered down so the client got some money in her pocket as well?
Yeah, everything was taken care of really well. The client walked away with a good chunk of money, which you always like to say for your clients, especially when they've experienced what this client has, and everything's squared away, so she's not dealing with it.
Ashley, what did you learn in this case trying to help Miss DS?
To really be prompt with getting your emergency medical records, so the emergency room, the hospital bills, to the extent of the injury. Most people aren't going to remember every last detail told to them, especially with the kind of medication they give you when you're going through that kind of procedure. So to know that it was really bad, I mean, because they tell you, I had surgery, but what's the extent of it? And then getting those bills, we didn't have to wait for her to finish treatment. And that's a big deal too, because sometimes the settlement process can take a little bit. Fortunately, here it didn't. But in future cases, knowing when there's a really bad injury, just going ahead and pushing the case forward while the client's treating, that way we can wrap this chapter of their life up quicker.
And we were able to do that because we knew the size of that insurance policy we were dealing with, and we knew the extent of our injuries. So it sounds like you basically told them, hey, we're going to go after all the money, either now or at the end. So you can pay it now, or you can just hold it and wait till the end. And they decided to pay you early.
Exactly. And I think a huge leverage we had there was already having the emergency room bills. If we didn't have that and we said, well, we think this is going to be pretty big, this is a serious injury, they'd say, okay, call us back when you have those bills. But we waited until we at least got those records in-house. So it wasn't just, we think it's, here you go, here's the bill. It's not going to be any different 6 months from now, so you might as well pay it.
Okay. All right. It sounds like you were able to convince them that that's what they should do. So great result for Miss DS.
Yeah, we were happy.
All right. No, it sounds like you did a great job. Sounds like you took all the insurance company's money, got the bills squared away and reduced and handled, and then put money in the client's pocket. So it sounds like a great result for a horrendous car accident.
Yeah. And that's always the goal.
All right. Well, thanks for listening today. Remember, if you're in pain, call Shane, 980-999-9999, or you can order our free book, The Victim's Survival Guide to Car Accidents, at shanesmithlaw.com. We'll be going over another case next week. Please hit subscribe down below so you make sure you know what's going on. Thanks a lot, Ashley.
Thank you.
980-999-9999. 980-999-9999. Shanesmithlaw. In pain, call Shane.